Aloha. This is Shaka Lake Maka coming from Eve Chiang Mai. Let me bring in a live stream call with some friends of mine here at the Frontier Tower. We've got Kyle and Nick. How you guys doing?
We are doing fantastic, Chaka. How you doing?
I'm doing good, doing good. We are just gonna have a little fun zoo discussion here. I think it's a cool bridge we're building between Frontier Tower and Four Seas. I'm actually in the Chiang Mai University. Late at night, they let me sneak in here. Our hackathon does not run 24 hours, unfortunately. But we do have the hackathon running until the 2nd, and then our big summit, and then off to the next journey. But Kyle and I have been really good friends for the longest time. We've recently met at Vitalia and Prospera, and then have gone to many different pop-up cities living together. And I would love to go visit Nick and Kyle at Frontier Tower. We're going to talk about some cool things they're doing with Makerspace, talk about some maybe Zuzalu town hall structure ideas that we could pitch to the community. And, I think it's just a cool way on a live stream to build the bridge between Chiang Mai and San Francisco. So let's go. How you doing, guys?
Fantastic. Yeah, it's bright and early for us. So we've got our coffee and really appreciate you, Shaka, and the university making the space for us to chat about how we can build out a Frontier Tower community with all the lessons the wider Zuzulu ecosystem has learned. And so I'm really looking forward to this conversation. And hey, how about you?
Yeah, it'll be really good to hear some insight about the Zuzulu Town Hall format. For people who don't know about the Frontier Tower, the core concept of the building is that we have 16 floors of wide range of communities. We got robotics people here, Ethereum people, we have art people, music people, health and wellness people. We have a huge diversity of people, the different practices and interests. But being a building with many different floors, there's a lot of isolation and where people will maybe have one or two floors they spend most of their time on. And yeah, I think like the Zuzulu town hall format seemed like an intriguing thing to explore as a way to have more cohesion and cross pollination between the floors. And yeah, and then Shaka, yeah, if you wanted to share some of your insight and give us some ideas, we'd be more than happy to hear it.
So, a town hall is obviously important in any town where people gather and people kind of share ideas. And oftentimes I think you don't want to let the town hall become mixed with like a marketplace where everyone's pitching at each other, but actually make sure that you also preserve that cohesion of like a gathering place, to have discussion, to get together. And that's actually kind of like what fuels this idea of community. So now being able to do that globally, we got to virtually. And we've been um, making, I would say, a lot of strong um, decisions that have like actually paved the way for a lot of the decision making in the culture around the Zuzalu movement um, out of a town hall. Initially, when there was a decision to fully decentralize Zuzalu, that announcement came from Vitalik in a town hall. And, every year there's just been kind of like an ending town hall, and we've had actually two town halls recently that I thought were just really special. I've recently started doing like a little Shaka's corner. This is similar to a corner that I often bring in a lot of different pop-up cities, doing it here at the hackathon and other things, but doing that in the town hall, I've just like sang a little song and tried to, spice up a little town hall with little joy and festivities. And uh, so that's, for me, been really nice to just the last 2 months over the holidays to really be in connect with everyone once a month over the call, because the last 2 years, y'all have become my family and friends, and like this is where I live. This is like literally my home, and it's not just one city. I've decided to kind of like move towards the global network rather than trying to be a part of one startup or one pop up. I've try to just contribute and maintain my sovereignty as a contributor, and maybe a little bit more voluntarily have a giving heart within how I approach a lot of the pop-up cities. But having the gift of residency and a place to live is super rewarding to know that you can build those bridges around the world. So like, yeah, I think the every pop-up city should not only think about attracting people to their pop-up city, but should think about contributing ideas, and especially as we start getting towards bigger ideas of open source tech that we can all start sharing. This is the great playing field where we can start discussing those. There's been a great Zuzalu Tech town hall series that I've seen hosted by Zuzalu City. I've seen Frontier Tower was running a town hall series for a while. So I actually don't think that there needs to be one centralized town hall either. Like there shouldn't be. I think that this is a little three-person town hall we're having, right? Like, kind of like we should just like start considering the town hall as the network itself. Hey, let's all just meet in the net and have a town hall. So that's like what it is. Like, it's not like there's an actual building we're trying to establish yet of uh, um, deciding where we're going to have the capital or of Zuzalu. Like, that's never going to be a discussion. Like in the Zuzalu town halls. So I think like what's really important about the Zuzalu town halls is that it's shared, right? Like we've been sharing the hosts, um, and there is a strong need of coordination. So like I do want to give a shout out to Yami, who's been doing a huge amount of coordination and just messaging lots of people and getting everybody dialed in and organized. Um, so those efforts need to be need contributors to like I guess really have a successful town hall. Is a level of coordination and making sure everyone invited and everyone feels like they're able to be heard and have a chance to share and give a little bit of structure to it. I do think that there's importance in kind of like a discussion like we're having now that's not so bound by time. So I think there's like a good side for both of them. That's where I feel like any town hall discussion is more just like how do we want to include the conversation beyond just a private group. So by doing that on Twitter, I feel like is already a sense of town hall because we're openly discussing something that anyone can listen to and comment on. So I actually do want to encourage maybe we try and bring the town hall to the live stream, and start letting the general public have more of a opinion about and see how the public can start shaping our opinions. And we can still have our private town halls. I think honestly we should have the private town halls to like kind of coordinate how we approach the live audience. Um, but I think Edge City is just doing like a really good job of putting good content out there. Like they like make it really attractive for content creators to want to go stay at Edge and then make a lot of great content while they're there, and that's been really beneficial to Edge is just putting great content out there. So I think in a forum this is a great way for the pop-up cities just to put content out there. Like, and the nice kind of relaxing thing about content is like I was like actually maybe having a lot of output as well on the Edge platforms because I was running the live stream for Edge City. But like the videography quality of people putting content out on Edge City compared to like what I'm doing is like next level. You're talking about like Louis 3 who just got a job with the EF and is just like cinematically making these beautiful videos. I'm just like struggling to get latency to work and like make sure that I'm producing good audio and the same thing. But there is something just like that's like genuinely sweet about the live stream that people don't care if it's not perfectly high quality cinematic. They just want to absorb the information. And so a lot of the engagement that you usually find in the live stream is people that are already involved in the community or that their interest. And totally feel like, there's more engagement that kind of comes to a video if it's running live than if it was like just I don't think someone would watch a Zuzalu town hall recording. But I think someone would watch a live stream and just tune in to just like kind of like catch up with what's going on, or just like be curious to see what's happening live in a Zuzalu town hall and all the different faces. And especially as we're moving into the what all of our plans are for the year, everyone should. That's a great chance for everyone to share and invite people to their pop-up city. But yeah, yeah. What are your guys' thoughts about town hall structures, and how have you seen it work at Frontier Tower and other pop-ups? But what are your thoughts?
I especially love your last comment there about how it's a way for people to coordinate for the next year, and it's the tension I'd love to discuss a bit is the tension between it being too much shilling and then it being too much um, governance that's not actually what the governance is, especially in these events. A lot of times the governance is actually done by the organizing group and those kinds of. So what is the because town hall is community organizing and planning together, so it is governance. It's and also to know what go to this event or go to that event. It is shilling, so it is a mix. And governance and shilling, they're not actually even extractable from each other entirely. And so, yeah, the Zuzulu town halls, I believe, are doing it in a very healthy way, especially because there are people who are trying to take up a lot of space and such, and it's still being done in a really healthy way. But yeah, what are your thoughts, Nick, on how you're experiencing it here in this community?
Yeah, and to answer your question about town halls and how they've been run at Frontier, we had a town hall series and in the beginning months of the tower, and it was the last one in March. When was the last town hall that we had? It was a
Oh,
while
was
ago.
it? Yeah, yeah.
Might have been like last year in March or April sometime. And that the format was the leadership of the tower would talk about where the idea for the tower came from, and then maybe some things they were going to implement in the upcoming months. And the town halls have been somewhat abandoned. That I don't. There's no town halls plans that I'm aware of. We haven't had one for many months, and the Zuzulu format sounded like a really good way to have some sort of like central organizing, so some feeling of uh, that coming together and planning as a community on what would be coming up. And then my question to you would be when you are reaching out, inviting people, and giving them a sense that they would have time to speak. It does. If I imagine if you have more than I don't know X number of people, I don't know if it'd be 10 or 20. Not everyone would necessarily have a platform to speak, and you'd have to sort of select who gets time, and just like I would be curious like if how that selection process goes.
Um, yeah, like I think I haven't been a part of that selection process, but I so the zoos one is like kind of a fun name that I've heard has been proposed by Yami and others for what kind of like this running Zuzalu town hall that's been going so far this year, um, which it has a really good collectiveness because of the coordination that Yami's done of making sure that all the different pop-up city leaders know when the date and time is, and she's kind of been giving everyone 5 minutes and like getting a little bit of a description of what they want to talk about so she can put that in the Luma invite.
Mhm.
So all that has been really helpful for her, and then we've delegated a different pop-up city to be the host each time, which I think is really cool. And then that
Yeah.
host is kind of like there to encourage staying in with your time limit. So like everyone's kind of like maybe he kind of like politely cuts you off, by maybe asking a question and then do whatever. And uh, I think that's great, and it kind of moves through, and it's important for people to share what they're up to. But I think also like we all know each other now too, so we I think we can all shorten the amount of time that we kind of share plans and give more links and uh, share each other's notions more often to like find all these finer details so we don't have to waste a 5 minute presentation going through all the details, but just share a link and then have more maybe, yeah, like conversations can get hijacked or go in different directions, but I guess that's part of a town hall and what it needs. So like having like some sort of master of ceremony does help kind of keep the flow. If it and I think like that's where I think there could be two different areas of discussion where things like this can be still public and essentially kind of a town hall, but it's more open because it's not really taking anyone else's time, right? It's just the three of us who have committed to be here, and then everyone else has the opportunity to give their time whenever they're able to. When you're coordinating a town hall, a bunch of people, it's you're definitely want to be respectful of everyone's time. So that's like the big pointer, right? You just want to be respectful of everyone's time because you're coordinating 60 people trying to get together, um, and make it feel very openly and shared. So I think Frontier Tower should be involved in this Zoos One town hall that Yami's been organizing, and eventually take the host role. And then I think Frontier should have its own running town hall as well. Um, and I think that that can be in person. And then I am definitely encouraging, and I think I'm not like saying it's me, but I've been doing live streaming now for the last 3 years, just like trying to scrap it all together with whatever I can. And finally, I'm seeing that now other people in the industry, including the EF, including like Octant, including all these other people, they're realizing, oh, we can just run a live stream ourselves too. It's not that hard, So honestly, like people should just be putting information out there simply and not worrying about it as much. And I think it would actually show a lot of positive impact. I think if Frontier Tower just decides, let's not be so um, residents only, but the residents only are the ones that can maybe get into the physical space because we have limited capacity or whatever. But let's just like not let's just like start sharing everything we're talking about at Frontier Tower and let it go out in Twitter, and then just see what Silicon Valley thinks. Because maybe it could easily, when the right discussions start happening, easily start the right kind of buzz that people start really realizing how special this all is. So it shouldn't be gate kept at all. And this is actually a great way for people to realize that it's really human, it's really special, and it's really open by just having these open public conversations where, okay, like I'm watching now, we only have like 2 people watching and they probably already clicked in. So literally we have like no engagement right now on this live stream. But hey, at least it's still public, you know, and it's out there and it's on our Twitter and out and playing some music, so it's still fun and we all feel good about doing it. But it's I think that every town hall should have no fear in just putting the information out there, and more residents would feel better about that, and also that it kind of gives your residents an ability to not have to go to the physical town hall and just be able to still watch live anywhere.
And I do want to interject and just ask one question for Zoos One. What are sort of some of the broad categories of interest that people might have if they wanted to attend and be a part of that? So it's like who at Frontier Tower, what categories of interest should be directed towards that event and being a part of that?
So I guess what it um, kind of appears like is that there would maybe like a I would say it's good to hear from like a part of, I don't know if what the team or organization looks like at Frontier Tower, but I think having one of those members connect with Yami, and then uh, Frontier Tower is kind of like sharing that opportunity with their whole community in Frontier Tower, saying like, "Hey, who wants to represent us in the town hall?" Or if someone has something they'd really like to share on behalf of Frontier Tower in the Zoos One town hall, then there should just be like someone that's, and I'm able to help make these connection points. I can be one of these connection points that if your pop-up city wants to present in the future town hall, and you don't know who's the next coordinator, like I usually tend to find out, and I'm always happy to make these connections. So, if and I'm sure I haven't heard from Frontier Tower in the last two town halls, but I'm sure y'all were invited, and I think everyone has been invited. And I think there shouldn't be any like need for too much like oh, it has to be like Jacob or one of the founders of Frontier Tower that goes and represents Frontier Tower in the Zoos One town hall. I think any resident can honestly like hop into the Zoos One town hall and speak on behalf of Frontier Tower, but there should be consensus probably within the Frontier Tower community that that's happening, right? Like
So I actually
there's
believe,
been, but yeah,
yes.
I'm very different.
Well, I were you in at the town hall yesterday? Uh,
I was, yeah.
yeah. Okay. Well, that is here's Zeno's calling.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Yeah, sure. So yeah, so Chris was there. So
You
one
want
of
me to put on
the
speaker when
one
you
of the
talk to
founders
him?
was there.
Will you put on speaker when we talk to him? Or
Yeah, sure, if you want. Yeah,
hey, it's fun. Me and Kyle are here.
we're with Shaka. We're doing the live stream with him up on 16th. Yeah, we're here on 16th floor. So yeah, it's the 16th floor. So he's doing this. All right, great. Yeah, so
Zeno.
Xenophone. Yeah, so Xenophone will be here in a very shortly, and so he'll be part of the conversation. And so yeah, so the founders of Frontier are already uh, very intimately part of the Zulu community, and the wider Frontier membership. That's what I've discovered having conversations with the membership is there's not a recognition because it's way out in SF. And the narrative has yet to be built out. This is very fresh, and there's so much. I mean, the robot fighting started at the very beginning of this. I mean, so the origins of the Zulu and all that was kind of overshadowed, and so I'm excited this time around to integrate the frontier community um, uh, more so with. But yeah, the founders I believe are it's just more helping them out, and Xenophone will he's one of those people who are doing that. That's also why I'm here. I'm one things I'm touching on, Shaka, is the permissionless nature of the town halls, and that's what I'm really liking. Is that these town halls are town halls that are not about command and control. Say, oftentimes I believe maybe from a U.S. perspective, a town hall is the state representative or the federal, or some government in a republic. It's someone who's there, and then everyone else is like a concert. Like there's one person who has all the energy and power, and everyone else is there in the community that's just like doing that for them. And then they officially create the town hall. And it's a very top-down command and control system. Um, and that's a fine kind of town hall. But what I believe these town halls are is that how Ethereum is this permissionless nature of it. And that then to me, all the governance and the shilling and stuff that naturally lines up because it's a community. The more and more we are permissionless, the more and more agentic we are, the more I think the richer our culture is, the more each one of us has a range of motion to do something really special, and then also feed off of each other's specialness and have all these gestalts and such. And so that's so if a community that can't offer that much permissionlessness is not going to be so rich that way, and a community offers more and more. So a town hall should, in my mind, as we're chatting, reflect the, this kind of town hall. So not the one where it's a representative and many others. So an asymmetric town hall, like a key value pair, which is also really important. But this one where it's much more so the community finding consensus and the collaboration monster side of our philosophizing.
Like, yeah, the Zoos One town hall is, you know, it's just really important for us all to get together and see each other. Um,
Yeah,
and I think that it's like you kind of see that like certain things get us all in the same room periodically in the year, like DevCon, for example, will bring us all to like a similar location. Maybe on some Spectrum Network State School did that, or the Network State Conference did that as well. So those kinds of events that get us all in the same room, I want more of that, right? And like so that's why the town hall is actually really beautiful and special, and I would want more of that too, right? Like I wouldn't want it to just be limited to everyone gets 5 minutes with each other a month. So I think the Zoos One structure and culture that we've built around this is good, and I really appreciate it. And I think what it should hopefully inspire is that the conversation keeps going. and the more people want to take that conversation public, then in my opinion, then you're kind of making a town hall out of it because our town hall is the network, right? So that's what's kind of cool about it all is that we're not central to a point of structure that even the Zeus one is not what centers Zuzalu. Zuzalu itself isn't centered around one person or one set of strong key values, but we all share lots of different values, and we're able to explore different values and to make our own concepts and all different kinds of values. That
Mm.
um, the town hall should also be a chance for us to value each other, right? And that's part of the respect and not taking it as an opportunity to just like pitch and take the microphone, but have an opportunity to value each other, and maybe even it's a good chance to evaluate each other and like give feedback, or that's where the discussion can carry on. And so I am proposing that we do a live stream public town hall. I've shared it with the organizers of the Zoos One town hall, or the coordinators. I like the term that we've been somewhat using in pop up cities of initiator, and contributor rather than an organizer, or because the contribution level for a town hall should be encouraged and like a privilege, like because and it will be shared, and that's how it will continue and keep momentum. So I feel encouraged to want to do a public town hall, and then I'm more encouraged now to be more involved in all the monthly town halls because I'm realizing that it's special. And I usually was actually my routine was I would only kind of tap into the town halls more focused on the physical town halls when I was at the pop-up city because I'm living in the pop-up cities all the time. But now there's so many pop-up cities that like the importance of us all building bridges is more important. And I even think this is great coordination of like calls like this, right? That cities can connect and have calls with each other. Zeno, Zoo
Hi,
forever.
how are you? Good morning, good evening.
Good evening.
Where are you right
Good
now?
good morning. Good morning. I am in Chiang Mai.
Oh, lovely. You're in paradise.
I'm at the university. I'll give you a little shot of the setup here.
Oh, nice. Of
Yeah.
course, the properly set up over in that jacket space. I'll stay. I'll stay.
Okay.
I'll have to go up and down a little bit. So I'm gonna be on the second floor. That's why I was there.
I thought too, sorry.
Yeah, yeah. We'll get more, so get more people. Like, I'm also on a call as we speak. I'm on the set, but I'm here. So what's up, Shaka? How are you? When are you gonna come visit?
I have not been to Frontier Tower yet. I'm embarrassed to say so. I'm
We are gonna
excited.
change that in the future, I hope.
Yeah, I mean it looks just very productive and open. Look at you guys
It,
there in the morning.
it's a crazy time. There's a lot of hacking, especially on the AI side of things. We need more Ethereum community here, that's for sure. And there's going to be more and more programming happening over the next few weeks and months. Um, Perhaps March would be a good time for you to visit if you want to visit. We're gonna have ETHSF, NGDC, which is NVIDIA's thing, NGDC, which is the Gaming Developers Conference. So all of it at the same month in March. Um, so it's gonna be wild here. Ethereum SF
When
most likely, hopefully.
what's the date for ETHSF?
Uh, we don't know yet. It hasn't been announced yet. It's information that perhaps we shouldn't even have shared.
Yeah,
Oh,
this is live on ecstasy.
yeah, and just in case there is this. There are potential ETHSF organizers planning this as we speak, and let's see what we do in the end. Let's see what we do in the end. It'll be very cool.
Well, I mean, I'm at the university because we're running ETH Chiang Mai here, and I mentioned earlier in the call that I, it's been a breeze for me to kind of like really strongly activate this place. And I feel like there's been a kind of like a cool team of contributors from the Four Seas community that stepped up to kind of run the hackathon. And then also you see that like Four Seas is also hosting like a cypherpunk um, Congress meetup at the Four Seas building, and they're launching a Zuzalo library, and there's like all this stuff that they're able to just like
Oh, yeah.
coordinate out of this. Like they're expanding as well as hosting a pop up city, as well as now hosting this like more legit conference weeks. Like this week has actually felt super strongly like an EFCC or an ETH Denver because there's side events. There's the WAMO group community going on. Four Seas and the, like Four Seas Community Hub is like 2 blocks away from where I'm at the university. So even I'm like walking back and forward to like get the gear set up, and like I brought all these instruments over from Four Seas. So there is something really cool about the hackathon alongside the permanent hub because you can just like actually really bring the community into the hackathon.
Big time.
Um, yeah.
The hackathons we've been doing at the tower has been one of the biggest highlights of the tower, right? So hacker first culture has yielded like what, like more than 100 hackathons in the past 10 months. So like I think there's probably more than that. Um, it's also now we're going to be doing internal hackathons at the tower, trying to build out solutions for our problems. Most of them are not on-chain problems; they're like physical issues, like how do you handle the data that we have from checkpoints? How do we do other type of things that allow the tower to flourish? So there's going to be a lot more coming in the next few months that I'm very excited to see. But what I can say is that there will be an Ethereum-based token within the tower, most likely pegged to the dollar, that will allow for internal economics to flourish. So we expect that very soon. There's also a Frontier OS that's coming out, which is specifically there to help to help builders build things for what the people need. So, but basically, the same exact thing that we've been trying to do with Ethereum and all the ETH Global hackathons that happen for Ethereum. We're now doing it for the tower as well. Um, there's also a big push for us to be a bit more global, so we're trying to expand to another few locations. If you can't make it to San Francisco, you might make it to one of those locations in the future, which is what I'm very excited for as well.
By the way, if you want to stream this on Frontiers X as well, I gave you the stream yard. So that's trying
We'll do the
out
next one. It's kind of weird to hop in halfway through the
in the middle.
conversation.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Sure.
No
Um,
worries.
but we can do this again. I actually want to start having. I've been encouraged to do like more podcasts, but like this is so easy for me to just pop up a stream because
Yeah.
I'm used to it. So like I think I could just have these calls more often. I feel like, and I think it's just kind of good. I think I'm just like I'm getting more like not worried about like screwing up when I'm like playing music on the live stream either, or like when the camera go. Like these things just happen. So I think it's
Yeah.
kind of like good, just like make the effort to put information out there publicly. I think one thing I would love to see with the town halls too
Mm.
is culturally we start thinking about going to the town halls, not trying to um, get the attention from the rest of the community, saying, "Look at we're doing this, this, and this, and this," but um, I would love to see people come with information to the town halls that it's more like this is what I'm giving open source to the community. This is this governance tech structure that's really working like the stable coin that you're talking about maybe for Frontier Tower and how we're going to use it for our financial structures or maybe even there's like any governance structure that we then just share open source. These are the great things to be shared in town. Like, hey, we've been working on this and it's working this, and we want to share this, and you can maybe try this. Here's a GitHub, or we ran this. Like, it shouldn't giving more results and data to like try and like encourage or share with the community, and then like it would be like the dream, right, for the dog fooding scenario where like we start coming up with these cool tech projects that we really want to just share with the whole community. So like those are the things that we're coming to the town hall with. And then like I said, like you can easily like share all the pitching in a Notion link and say, hey, scan the QR code, and then you can find out all the details about our upcoming pop up and all this. And this is like where what's really worked for us and how we think we because like I even remember like the host of the town hall last night. He did a good job from Zoo Afrique, but Zoo Afrique, is smaller scale to a Four Seas or an Edge City. So he was kind of like bringing up the question like, hey, like how do we fundraise? How do we do this? So like these are I think approaches that we could take with the town hall is more how do we like encourage each other? How do we like give gifts to each other and like share positive feedback as well as constructive learnings that we've all taken so that we can grow collectively? And that would be a really cool cultural insight into the town hall rather than it being a pitch sesh to be like pop each other up, like really just like an encouragement fest as well.
Shaka, I have questions. He brought up things that I couldn't join back to back two town halls for Rosario because they were a bit too early for San Francisco. So the one yesterday was at 5 in the morning for us. And I am a bit in the blind. I actually don't know what's happening in the ecosystem for the past few months.
I was there.
You were there?
Yeah, Chris was there too. He showed a little bit.
Damn, I couldn't. I went to bed at 4 in the morning. So
No,
yeah.
no, I was not on screen. I was just I was just listening.
So I really have no idea what's happening, and I see more and more activity with these town halls and more um, planned repetitiveness. So I want to see if there's anything that you can share about what was discussed and what is important that perhaps I've missed over the past few weeks, which is important for culture as well as for the next year of our ecosystem.
And Shaka, before you do that, if I can give a comment more on the philosophy side real quick, and then yeah, you can get into the concrete. I'm thinking from our prior discussion, Nick, as well, that the more the town hall is about us sharing each other's happenings, which I do think that's important, and that's going to lean far into shilling because it's I got this going on, I got that going on, that to me is the more it should be a structured. There should be someone that's the keeper of the ceremony. Okay, you got 5 minutes. Okay, the next person. And then what I'm really appreciating that I believe Frontier Tower is exploring right now with the hackathons and a few other groups, and I'm really encouraging this is customer discovery. So I actually believe our ecosystem by saying dog fooding over the past 5 or so years, we've really missed the mark, and it's only now just since this the last ETH Global hack that I've realized customer discovery is very different than eating dog food. Eating dog food is this is food for some or this is for a different customer, but it's such high quality that I will accept it. Right? I'm not the customer base, but it's so good that I because you're eating because it's the CEO that eats dog food. That's actual dog food companies. That's what they have done, and that's why it's called dog fooding. Whereas customer discovery is Steve Blanks get out of the office, test things. And so, for instance, at DevConnect, Shaka, when I did robotics on stage, it was that to me was such a great example of why customer discovery is important. Because when I was in the pit at Eat Global in the hackathon, I was properly resonating with the environment, which was all these protocols. So the robot had a QR code because it was continuing that environment of financialized protocols. It was correct for that culture. But then when I was in the customer environment and on stage robot, the QR code was not the culture. The culture was this really amazing event. And so then I went, oh, let's not do the QR code. Let's take pictures and then put it up. And then so it completely resonated with the environment it was. And what Xenophone, as you say, that there's these pain points. Like there's so much customer discovery in the tower itself, self-reflective customer discovery. But that's very close to how we've been, and that's actually what I believe we mean when we've been saying dog fooding. But to me, there's not a way to grow and scale with the dog fooding mental model. Whereas this customer discovery is, well, I'm going to pick myself as a customer because I'm a hacker, and so I know that I'm a persona as a hacker, and then I can extend that to many other hackers very quickly. And so if I deal with myself and my pain points as that persona, and then I'm engaging in hackathons, and those hackathons are engaging with the wider world. And I've seen that at Frontier with the last hackathon we were in. There's the alchemy community, the urban alchemy community. There was a member who was basically representing the customer in that hack team, and I think that went great. So So when I feel this conversation, this town hall, Shaka, if we consider this a town hall, between Frontier, Zuzulu, Maker, Maker.diy, Make.diy. I mean, that's so it's to me it's institutional, so that's kind of cool. But more importantly, for the point I'm bringing up with the structured or not structured is if it's discovery, so it's exploration, and to me we can call a customer as well if we want to bring it into the making good ROIs and for the VC aspects of this. That's why I'm using this kind of jargon. Then a free form conversation is the appropriate way to achieve our ends. So that's what I'm saying is that what is the knowledge we're seeking amongst each other, and that's an opt-in, and that's to me permissionless because obviously we all have the right to assembly and congregate, and so hopefully the leadership in our ecosystem with their trademarks. That's I think that, and that's where I believe Zuzulu, that trademark negotiation has been really impressive, and that's where that's the to me the more curious question is how does Frontier, for instance, how does it navigate its trademark when a community creates a town hall permissionlessly? Yeah, and so Shaka, if you want to speak to that, but I know that Xenophone has those specific concrete questions about the actual
I
Zuzulu
mean,
town halls.
I came in late and I just intervened in the
No, not at all.
conversation.
No, no, those are important too.
I want to know what's happening in the ecosystem because I'm a bit in the blind and I haven't seen the recordings either, which is my mistake.
Yeah.
Um,
So,
I also think that your questions and what you're bringing is very important, right? And I have many more questions. For example, we're doing a town hall on Monday.
Mm.
That is going to be the first one for 2026, and it's a very different point of view to how town halls are being held at Suzano.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
but I think discussing the brand and how things are moving forward is important. You're now seeing new brands emerge with Frontier in them, right? So you have Frontier Exchange,
Hmm.
you have Frontier Meals, we have many other boats which are above the frontier, which are coming in the Telegram space, and there is no clear answer. There is residencies for venture capitalists, which are now trying to like connect with frontier leadership, not us, but floor leadership.
Hmm.
So how do we negotiate that effectively?
Yeah.
These questions haven't been answered.
Yeah, and we've got that writers retreat that we should chat about also, which is very similar to those dynamics. So yeah, yeah, this is the time. Chaka, perhaps you can speak to the Zuzulu trademark. I know you spoke earlier about the Zuzulu, uh, how people are, yeah, to some extent, how people are doing these town halls in a way that's everyone's getting along. And even though there are a lot of people who want to have a lot of the space, it's still working out. Can you speak to some of the trademark negotiations that have happened? People have said, "Hey, I'm Zuzulu. I represent Zuzulu." I know some of that's very politically touchy though, but we did navigate early Zuzulu kind of people taking that trademark, and now I would say it's relatively un uncaptured. But yeah, what is your thought on all that, Shaka?
um, I think I'm guessing permission is maybe not needed, but I think probably if you're going to go to the extent of making something as beautiful as what has now just been created, like the Zuzalu Library here in Chiang
Mhm.
Mai, I'm sure that there was permission that was granted, but I don't know, and I don't know the details. I don't even know what the trademark rules or structure is around Zuzalu. All I just know is that yeah, like there isn't any corporation or anyone that's controlling that. Like who owns it? It belongs that trademark if it is belongs to V, and he's not the type of guy that you know holds governance structure over Zuzalu like it's his. He's really holding this openly and shared and really wanting it to be um just a great place for people to gather and build towards the right future and the right technology. And he kind of said some cool things over the weekend. He came out and visited us here in Chiang Mai, and visited the library. So some things that I heard from him over the weekend that I really liked. Uh, One question was brought up to him: how should these pop-up cities be excluded or exclusive?
Hmm.
And I think that he said this really beautiful answer saying that I actually think the ideal situation is that we create structures that people I just exclude themselves.
Hmm.
And then to prove that point, he asked the question, so who in this room thinks Solana is a better blockchain? Raise your hand. Oh, there we go. We've already excluded, like, it's like, I was just kidding, but obviously we're at East Chiang Mai and like, is that thing, but, um, so, like, yeah, that's where I think, Twitter town hall is kind of, or a live stream town hall is a really good idea because literally people will exclude themselves. Look, we have 6 people who've like just checked in and have like probably only stayed for like 15 seconds max before they got bored and dropped out. So that it's alone, and I think if we had a town hall live, the people who really cared would be consuming all that content. And then guys like Zeno can go back and watch it more easily than having to go download a Google Drive file off his email.
Yeah.
They can just go just type in the Twitter handle of where it was streamed. So I'd like to do this for the overall community. I've pitched it to the Zoos One. I think I would, I'm because I've been doing live streaming. I've live streamed for Zuberlin, Switzerland, uh, Diac Day, um, ETH Panda, ETH Singapore, ETH Chiang Mai, Edge City, Zookosh, and it's like I've gone already to all these, and I know it would work. That like I just imagine if we get 30 people who are all actually like high agency, kind of like kick ass influential people, all in a town hall, and then all of them sign on to their ex, just like you did. Where then like everyone just signs in, connects to the StreamYard, and then we've got this 30-person broadcast. Imagine that reach expansion.
Yeah.
Oh, and
Yeah.
Shaka, I do want to talk about this question of how do you leverage those personalities into audience, but I also want to go back to something you were saying about um, self exclusion having to do with kind of like the way that an event presents itself. If it's an ETH event, you're not going to have Solana people, and at the tower, I think we have an issue where we have very maybe you call them specific communities where we have like a biotech floor. And if we were to do a public town hall with our biotech floor and our robotics floor and our crypto floor, and if someone is tuning in for the robotics and that's their interests, perhaps the other topics would be less interesting to them. So that raises the question to me is maybe do our different sub communities need to have their own broadcasts, or is there a way to bring them all together? And I think that's something to navigate is how do you hold and capture interest in with X streaming when someone may not be interested in all the different projects being covered in a specific town hall. If we are
Yeah.
trying to do that approach of getting as much viewership and attention as possible for the projects that people are working on.
Well, I, yeah, Shaka, please. I have some thoughts, but please, Shaka, I want to hear your thoughts, definitely.
Um, I think that every floor, um, it kind of comes down to like different channels of in Telegram. Sometimes I kind of often feel like I get super telecramped that I don't even have to pay attention because there's so many different Telegram groups that I get put into, especially when in the pop-up cities that I can kind of just like rely maybe more on social layer, and the main schedule, and then just like kind of like knowing where I want to like base my routine, and then just kind of like that's where I end up meeting people and doing things. So in the Frontier Tower, I think if there was like a selection of different town halls that I could tune into, but then I think it really just comes down to who are you opening it up to, just like if they like encouraging it almost, but then letting people openly contribute. a town hall idea or hosting a town hall. So you're gonna need those people, right? So like for the biotech floor, I feel like there should just you can just maybe just like start encouraging culturally within the tower to like host more open discussions, and wherever you find the reach to be best for the community is where you can do it. If it's Google Meet, do it on Google Meet. If it's Zoom, whatever. But like, I feel like maybe social media is kind of a thing. I think,
Also, looking two
um,
years into the future, when we do have multiple locations across the globe, if we have a robotics floor at each tower, we could have a like robotic specific town hall meeting virtually connecting the different communities.
So that's actually
Yeah.
so the other place where this is being streamed, make.diy that's the point of that is Tony has makerspaces that he's connected with. I have makerspaces I'm connected with. There's the Frontier Makerspace. There'll be more Frontier makerspaces. So this is the network state narrative where we're sharing a value, which is being makers and doing it ourselves. Like what makerspaces are, and it transcends any particular central organized group as well, which is what the Zuzulu town halls are too. So it's a meta I'd like to do. So Frontier Tower makerspace town halls is fine. I also feel it's critical that we have global town halls, because then people can exit. So for what I'm kind of whittling this down to is that the town halls are about cross pollinating, and so to what scope are we cross pollinating? And there's the vertical scope to me of Frontier where it's multidisciplinary, and that's a cross pollinating we want. And then there's a horizontal scope of maker spaces, and that's a cross pollinating. And then that's horizontal. Zuzu, I'd say it's horizontal, but it's a bunch of verticals together, so it's really really complicated. That one, and so then the cross pollinating we want to do, if it's something like a Zuzulu one, it's something as big as this is my pop up, this is your pop up, these whole packages. And if it's something that we're going to have in the maker spaces, we're going to be designing the literal physical portal infrastructure to connect each other. And that's great for everybody because we're actually going to be building out the hardware system with these townhalls, the makerspace townhalls. And so we need that because we have to have protocols that are the Frontier can use, that Switzerland can use.
You also are doing the portal, right?
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
So what Kyle is doing is creating portals between makerspaces in Honduras and in Frontier Tower. Um, I actually believe that we can have portals within each different floor and every floor actually within the tower, right? So there are these portals allow for cross collaboration and cross communication on a constant physical basis. Like go, it's like a mirror on the wall, find with the hackiest hacker of them all, and then to get someone in the tower or in Honduras or whatever, right? So we have basically also Rosario, it's not just pop-ups. Now it's also permanent hubs, right? So it's what they're doing in that the Rosario Town Hall is even more meta, right? So we have the tower, vertical, we have multiple towers, we have maker spaces, Ethereum floors, whatever the floors are, and then you have all of that into the town hall of Suzalu, and then there is the Chiang Mai permanent hubs, you have the Switzerland permanent hubs, you have the Berlin permanent hubs, all of them different organizations under the same overall umbrella where the ethos and the ethics is what really unifies them more so than much else. Of course, there are economic interests, right? Because many of them invest in on-chain criteria and assets and economies, right? So it's the emergence of a society which it has multiple touch points of similarities, and I think that's
mm,
fascinating. But for all of us, we're just preaching to the choir, right? At this point, I don't even
yeah.
know how many.
Well, that's why like this little Twitter conversation works because like if we were all just sitting at each other drinking coffee at Frontier Tower together, we'd be having the same like conversation. Like that's what we like doing at these pop-up cities is we all just preach to our own choirs that we're a little quartet right now that we all like singing with each other. But like I would even circle back to like Nick made a really good point about like the topic-based town halls. Like I think that's a cool idea that Frontier Tower can nail best because you've got all the different floors. That each floor is essentially kind of becomes its own topical town hall. And then you spread that globally. That like yeah, then there's like a makerspace topic that you can try. And so then bringing everyone together. I'm really excited about Mask becoming the steward of Lens. And I am more heavily gonna try and think about uh, figuring out where live streaming could be on Lens, and even get back in touch with like Pablo, who ran Stream ETH, and we did NFT streaming thing, uh, and then also see where there's a bridge with the like Lemonade and Social Layer. Because I mean, like kind of like right now, like what you just even did with this conversation and how the Zuzalo town hall's been relying on Luma. So likely we could probably start getting that could be that's where I think yeah, like so I think like because Lens is a social graph and Lemonade is actually part of the Lens ecosystem now. The event of the town hall could be kind of like a Lemonade thing. And I would love to see like because Lemonade and Social Layer, hopefully Lemonade is. I think Social Layer could become open source too with that like scheduling stack that um, like a town hall could actually then have its own like kind of permissionless scheduling. So if people want to like post topics or proposals into the town hall via Social Layer style, that they could do so. And then you can have the whole sign in and check in verified through their Lens and the Lemonade ticketing process. So like with the Lens ecosystem, that's where I know live streaming is going to be really key, and I'm excited to bring that up with the Mass team. I already have made contact about that, and uh, Zhang of Social Layer is here, and Casey and I still talk a lot, and Zhang and I are good friends as well. So like, I would love to see our not having to rely on Telegram for our coordination in these topics as well. So maybe I think Social Layer has done a good job of giving the pop up cities a way of coordinating. What are you guys using at Frontier Tower for scheduling and kind of stuff like that?
For comms, Telegram. For programming and calendar is Luma. And I think one of the things that's slightly different with us versus other ecosystem players is that we are catering to the tools built by the Valley, which are a bit more Web 2. Um, we are going to most likely start using social layer for some of the events that are coming up. On Tuesday, we're announcing funding the commons in the tower. It's going to happen March 14th and 15th. That's basically nailed down already. And that's thereabouts where ETHSF is going to be as well, between major AI conferences with the
Yeah,
specific aim of trying to add ETH culture into AI. So that's going to use most likely social layer. Um, we don't have a platform for as a forum online like we did with Zuz Agora or Agora City, which perhaps we should, because I think it would make a lot of sense for us to like parameterize and format formalize, I guess, some of the discussions happening. Um, we also don't have Zupas, which would be ZK identity. What we're using is Unify, which is Web 2, because at this point, what we are looking for more than anything is usability and adoption. And many of these platforms have already millions, if not billions, of users like Telegram. Um, there are issues to this, of course, right? Many people do not like Telegram. Uh, Not because of security concerns, but because of the scams and spam that are found in it. Um, Others are just simply not going to be on Telegram, they're going to be on WhatsApp, and WhatsApp is not the best place to run a community. Others want to be on Discord, and Discord to me is just too many dials and buttons and too many intricacies, which are making it harder and harder for us to really build it, although there's very, very good usability for it. But none of these platforms are like Ethereum, Zuzalu culture products. And I still think that we haven't really nailed it at building products which are very much easily adopted by the masses, which have the same technical background and ethos that we're looking for in Suzano. So we are using what works at the moment, not necessarily what we want to use. Um,
Hmm.
if that answers your question, Shaka.
Yeah, like, I guess um so Luma's kind of it's cool that you're like actually able to, but then not everyone, I'm guessing maybe not everyone has permission. Do all like Frontier residents have permission to create a Luma event within the Frontier Tower Luma?
It's very
No,
OAuth. I personally am I'm working with Gemini 3. People are finding some results with Claude. 2026 is going to be wild. The programs we're making, that something like Discord is completely incompetent kind of overnight because I can't create brand new features because it's not completely open. But if I have my own systems, I can create brand new features just with a prompt. Because, and this is it's only as bad as it will ever be. It will just get better and better. So Eric Schmitz, he said like 2 or 3 years ago, we're going to have programmed on demand, and he was definitely being um, over the top with that, but there was a lot of it was really true. I mean, he was saying that was his legit belief, Eric Schmidt, and
The
I'm seeing
feature.
this all the way around. Like we just make straight up. So I'm already playing with NFTs. The permissions that we are now able to do with NFTs, which is straight up prompts, are so fine tuned. And yeah, like something like Discord, you can't actually just make it your own, which that's what we're going to expect. So by 2027, we're going to expect that from all of our programs, and all the financial models are going to be able to handle that. And so it's really
even
exciting.
servers.
Well, it's Exos 402 and all. I mean, yeah, I'm relying on servers almost. So, and the model view control dynamic, that's part of it. Totally. We'll chat more. We only got 2 more minutes on that thing,
Yeah,
but
I need to
yeah,
go.
yeah, yeah,
I have things to
yeah.
do. Shaka, it's great seeing you, and I hope to see you at the tower at some point soon.
Yeah,
Enjoy.
yeah, I definitely want to come to the tower. I'll just finish one
Um,
thing. Yeah, at some point Frontier Tower needs to have its own stack, because I kind of like looping on what you guys are saying.
coming.
The future is the protocol, not the platform. Yeah, like
And similarly, me doing physical town halls is very limiting. We need to be digital and physical for us to have the global impact, right? Uh, it's the same mentality when it comes to the OS and protocol as it is for communications and community. And the town hall next week on Monday, I will try to stream. Um,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'll try to. I don't think we have the technical infrastructure set up just yet to do it.
Goodness.
Yeah, but that also means that we gotta have cameras that provide input, these types of things, right? So
But Shaka, I mean, Shaka, just that you were even here at the beginning. Shaka was saying, "Hey, how easy it is, right, Shaka? Speak to field recording, how easy it can be."
let him.
oh,
He just
just doing this live stream. I mean, I have like a really nice setup right now for like I can play music and do a performance now. But if I was just gonna like pop my computer up and do a live stream, yeah, we can do it remotely, easily anywhere.
Yeah. Well, we'll
I
chat.
have we have speakers throughout this tower,
Yeah.
and now I need to connect them to a mic, and I can't even do that. So I can't even add that to the town hall. So when the town hall is running, I would like for people around the tower to be able to hear what we're saying,
Oh,
for
yeah.
example. Right. So
Yeah,
and I'm trying to figure that out as we
Sure.
speak.
I mean, all
It's not just only magic is gonna be the first
magic.
thing.
Okay.
Yeah, and
Okay.
then we're working on it. But the getting the input from a mic is the only thing that's an issue at the moment. Anyway, Shaka, I gotta run. Great
maybe I
seeing
can.
you.
Maybe in the future I can teleport there and help you guys with your AV and then in the town hall.
That'd be fucking awesome. That'd be great. We would love to help you.
All right,
Also,
love it.
Colin, who's part of the ecosystem, is gonna be working with us a bit more, helping us build these things up. So yeah, I'm off. I'll see you guys later.
This is a
Bye,
fantastic start.
Zeno.
Aka, we really appreciate you staying up really late. We really appreciate the university making an exception, unlocking its doors. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to 2026 and having this wider meta community uh, continue to be connected. And I did many touch points. I don't think we actually were able to. I mean, I feel like this was half of the conversation actually needed to be had. I don't know what your thoughts were.
I can keep
Um,
chatting.
I,
It's already
I mean,
1 in the morning.
Yeah, yeah,
it's a big problem. There's a lot of intricacies to dive down and
yeah,
touch on,
yeah.
but it's yeah, it's a beginning and continuation of an ongoing discussion as like we build our communities, and as we just work on connecting people and getting people the platform they need to spread their message. And I think this was a really productive session. I think we talked on a lot today.
Yeah, that was fun. Let's do it
Thank you,
again.
Shaka.
More open public convos. Open source the town halls.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And then for this one we didn't do too much work trying to broadcast to the community because this was envisioned as a sort of like planning session to kind of put some concepts in the incubator for the public town hall. So I know very low viewership today, but for a future meeting that we intended to be more of a public platform, we could
Yeah.
get more eyes on it if you wanted to try to do that.
No, you don't do it for the views. You do it for the open opportunity that maybe there's more than just, the me's and the you's that want to listen to the you's and the I's, that like there's actually a good, that's why it's powerful in just being live, even if it's just a couple people, maybe that one person in these nine people that have tuned in maybe ends up at Frontier Tower and it changes their whole life, or
Hmm.
they become a startup. So like it's not about getting the huge audience of engagement. It's more about opening it up and making it live for people to have that conversation that I'm realizing. And that's why I wanted to build the pit, right? The public information transmission. I think the
Oh,
private information transmission and there could be a prediction information transmission that helps fund the public information transmission, but the pit is a public information transmission that should be built. I would love to see it, kind of like maybe built in the lens ecosystem so that that public information transmission that can then just like be put out for those topics. Um, and the town halls are beautiful when it's open sourced and it's just shared for everyone. You can see like Robinhood is a great example. They're kind of changing the game up because they're doing their earnings calls now more like a town hall and a broadcast, kind of like a Sports
Yeah.
Center newscasting. Like, yeah, I read this art, and like if you go watch the Robinhood earnings calls, it looks like it's like a Sports Center broadcast. And he was even kind of like thinking of like creating it kind of like that, but like so that like transmission of information is really important. I think for the pop-up cities, it's going to be important for companies that are normally using the structure of earnings calls. I think it more like even like the EF has a town hall, where they have all their employees get together. The Coinbase has a town hall, like that. So
Yeah.
open sourcing the town halls is like almost like figuring out how you can get that information transmission public.
And one thing I'm realizing is that if it has, like Coinbase, for instance, those groups that have a, um, a well-ordered team, that wants to do a kind of European garden, and we want to
Yeah.
have more of a Japanese garden, perhaps in the community as well. And that's what we've built that all the tokenomics, most recent tokenomics, where there's shares are separate from tokens because tokens represent community, and then that's charity giving and such. That's where it's headed on the corporate side. So we can reflect that on the town halls. That's beautiful. And yeah, one of the areas of further discussion that I wanted to touch on, Nick, that Shaka has touched on is the recognition that when it's really a hot area of excitement, but there's not very many seats, so it has to be exclusive, and we want the kind of decel to be in those seats. Having too many eyeballs is actually really problematic. It causes so much flack and noise and that's one
Mm,
of the reasons that this OG Ethereum subculture has developed this no shilling dynamic and the showing points and such is because it's actually too many people who are aware and they're not helping. They're degen, too many degens in the room kind of thing. So we've already gone way over time, but lots of areas to discuss. And yeah, Shock has a lot of wisdom on that as he's already conveyed a lot.
I'm
Yeah.
I'm just cruising. I'm gonna play some music now. We could keep chatting. Who cares? Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. But yeah, I don't mind keep chatting. Overtime, I don't mind. It's 1 in the morning. Chill day at the hackathon tomorrow.
Well, I'd like to make this a nice little artifact. So let's have this be that beautiful artifact. If you want to play
Oh,
us
you
out,
will wrap it up. Play a
yeah,
song to
let's
play it out. Oh,
yeah,
you want that
let's
with
do
the
this.
artifact? All right, I got the camera. I'm gonna kick you guys off, so I'm not just like playing to you guys. Not kick you off, but like I'll bring it full screen and get my other camera set up because it
Yeah, yeah,
died
yeah,
here,
yeah.
so I can play.
Love it. Really appreciate you, Shaga.
All right, go. All right, I'll say goodbye to you guys just because I won't be able to hear you after I bring it on. We'll bring it full screen. Stick around, listen. Thanks for the great conversation, Kyle and Nick. Excited to meet you guys out in the Frontier Tower in person. Oh, EFCC, we got to get the band back together. They invited us for Open Source Orchestra. And ETH Mumbai as well would like to have the Open Source Orchestra. Maybe ETH Denver would like the Open Source Orchestra. I don't know if I can make it out, but someone else can go bring the OSO tradition to ETH Denver. Oh, you've got a mandolin. Lots of
Yeah.
stars. Too bad because of the latency, we probably can't play together.
Maybe not.
No. Next time, though. Next time. But yes,
Next,
I'm ready for ECC. Maybe we'll have some mandolin at ECC.
great. People need to start bringing their own instruments to all the events. All right. I'm going to do a little rendition of the Zuzalu song for you guys. Where did Mr. Artifact go?
Here, what go?
Oh, there you are. Hey, Mr. Artifact. Okay. Wrapping up this nice artifact, I'll close this out with the Zuzalu song. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Love you, Kyle and Nick. Peace. Zuzalu, 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 yeah. What will Zuzalu do? Pop up the city, bridge community, build new technology, rooted in values we hold true. What does Zuzalu mean to you? I see the beauty, simplicity, and humility, self-organized, sustainably delightful, longevity, conversations on utility, how we impact society under the Zuzalu sky. We gather, you and I, sharing dreams side by side, in unity we abide. Zuzalu, conversations that inspire, kindling our collective fire. Ideas bloom, connections new. Zuzalu spirit, pure and true. Strings strum in harmony, echoes of community, laughter, learning, hearts unfurl. Together we build our world. Zoo, Zoozalu, yeah, yeah, yeah. Zoo, Zoozalu. Yeah. Zoozalu, Zoo, Zoozalu, Zoo, Zoozalu. Zoozalu. Here's to you, Zoozalu, our place where hearts and minds interlace. As we fight last night, say goodbye till next time under new Zoozalu sky. Here's to you, Zoozalu, our place where hearts and minds interlace. As we fight last night, say goodbye till next time under frontier tower sky. Zoozalu, yeah. Zoozalu. Look around, see the ties, friendships bond, it never dies. From this moment, let it be a beacon for community. Under the Zoozalu sky, we gather, you and I, sharing dreams side by side. In unity we abide. Zoozalu, Zoozalu, Zoozalu. Zoozalu, Zoozalu. What will Zoozalu do? Pop up the city, bridge community, build new technology, rooted in values we hold true. What does Zoozalu mean to you? I I see beauty, simplicity, and humility, self-organized, sustainably flight for longevity, conversations on utility, how we impact society under the Zuzalu sky. Gather, you and I, sharing dreams side by side, unity we are right. I love Olive Zuzaru. So much love from Chiang Mai. Four Seas, come visit the Zuzaru Library. It's permanent. Same with Frontier Tower. Gonna be there this summer. All right, good night. I'll be streaming from the hackathon. Thanks, Kyle, Nick. That was a fun talk. Zeno, Four Seas, the Frontier Tower. Just build the bridge and the digital town hall. Coming at you again. Goodbye.